Phil, good to see you. It's quite rare for somebody who's been in the SAS, who is now a private contractor, actually willing to show their face and talk about their work. Why have you decided to do that?
I wanted to give an honest account in that book, and I don't believe I can give an honest account hiding behind a black strip. Do you know what I mean? People want to see you. Who are you? What did you do? Right, this is me, and this is what I did. You see what I mean? So I don't believe that, hiding behind a strip anymore. For me, I'm not in the SAS anymore. I was. Get over it. You know what I mean? I'm doing this now, so.
As a little boy, you had quite an unusual, quite tough upbringing. Did you always think that you were going to end up in the forces or being basically...
I always liked the forces, do you know what I mean? And that photograph there, actually, that was on holiday with my mum, pretending to be a little soldier and throw one up, like, do you know what I mean? It's better than being Tarzan and just turning up in my pants, do you know what I mean? So that was a young aspiration there. But no, I think I had a little bit of exposure to it through a CCF later on in my teens, enjoyed it, and then, like I say, followed it through.
And you were in the regular forces before you went into the SAS?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I started off as a Royal Hampshire, so...
Yeah, and do you ever miss any of those days?
Yeah, of course you do. But, life moves on, doesn't it? So there's a few pounds in the bank now. I couldn't go back to those days if I wanted to.
There you are in
really.
the early days.
That was the early days. That was Londonderry outside the courthouse. That was taken by a local paper. I think that went in the paper, that shot.
And the work that you've done as a private contractor since has involved all kinds of things, rescuing hostages, counter-piracy work, that kind of thing. How many times do you think you've put your life in danger and got away with it?
I mean, some people would argue every time you go away, you put your life in danger. In terms of actual people targeting me as an individual, probably quite a few. So it's not, you step onto the circuit, it's not, that's what I do when I leave the military, I go straight on the circuit.
It's called the circuit.
Yeah, the circuit, the circus.
What is the circuit like?
The circuit is based, what's it like?
Yeah.
It's varied. There's so many different tasks you could pull on the circuit, depending on what your skill set is. The key to being on the circuit is to make sure that your skill set matches what it is you're trying to do. And I think a lot of the time people get that wrong. Quite
often, people who are private military contractors have had a bad name, for example, in Afghanistan, in Kabul, because of they leave the military, they go to the bars, they get drunk, they behave a bit badly, the kind of things they weren't allowed to do and didn't do in the military. How do you make that transition? Is it a difficult thing to do?
It is difficult to do because obviously the industry isn't massively regulated. And when you go into places that are lawless, as Afghanistan is slightly to a degree or has been in the early days, it's very difficult for people to rein people in.
That is you.
That is Afghanistan. Yeah, that's me in the middle, a flap of skin. That was about 8 years ago before I put some weight on. That's with the guys at the top of the hill. Used to do a bit of hearts and minds. Go up there, give them some radio batteries, have some photographs taken with them, ride about on my motorbike and that. Yeah,
and what were you doing in Afghanistan?
I started off I was looking after a European embassy. I can't say which one, but it was an embassy, and I looked after the entire security interests. We had a team of lads over there doing the CP, the close protection, and we trained the local guards to look after the residences and all that sort of stuff. So it was, my title in the end was security manager for that embassy that I worked for.
And what was it like when you actually started doing counter-piracy work?
Very different. As you can see there, that was the very early days, no weapons whatsoever.
That is a pretend gun, isn't it?
That's just a piece of wood, yeah, that we sort of like fashioned and sprayed black. And on that particular trip, all I had was one thing of wire. When I phoned the guy, he said, nobody said it'd be easy. And I never heard of him for about 3 weeks.
One of your kind of rules of survival has been not to show your fear, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Have you been very afraid in certain situations?
Born fearless, no.
What was the most fearful situation you've been in?
I think in terms of actually coming close to something really bad happening was there was a time in Gaza where Islamic Jihad said that they were coming personally to get me, and that was a bit sort of like a bit outside of your norm, like, you know what I mean? If they're attacking a compound, they're attacking everybody.
Sounds like
but when they say they're coming for me, I'm like, ooh.
Sounds like you should be looking after yourself, not looking after other people. And you met the former Prime Minister, Tony Blair. Tell me about that meeting. What happened? What did he say?
A friend of mine was doing some bits and pieces for him over in Jerusalem, and managed to get this sort of like quick meet with him. Went in, you all right, Tony, that sort of stuff.
Because he signed off some of the jobs you did, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Obviously, when I was serving, he was in the chair when I was serving, so there'd be a few wry smiles between us as to what went on when I was in. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I can't air here, but he knows all about them.
So, what did you say to him, and what did he say to you?
I said to him, I don't care what people say, Tony, you're all right. And he smiled and laughed, and we had a bit of a chuckle about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he's all right. He's a good bloke.
Any message you'd like to give to the forces who might be watching now?
Well, good luck to the lot of you, because you're doing a sterling job, and I admire everybody who serves and does, and carries on and doing their bit, because and the guys that know me, get on with it, lads.
Phil Campion,
Enjoy
good
yourself.
to meet you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, and I've enjoyed the book. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. All right. Cheers.